about violence, prone relationships amongst young people. I don't get it. Understand how exactly violence has become the next the order of the day, as a matter of fact, amongst the young partners. Weren't you surprised that a 20-year-old girl endured such
she's actually 19.
She's, oh my, so I did a good guess. I said she's between 19 and 20. So aren't you shocked that a 19-year-old endured a broken down relationship, a violence prone relationship, up to the point of having a black eye?
And you see, Tom is saying, it's really disheartening, and one of the main reasons why we are really taking this conversation is, yes, we're looking at that lady who has been beaten and battered. We're also looking at the destiny of that boy that has been trashed because he has been sacked from
his entire
team.
plan.
Yes,
And everything
he just got into a DMW last month.
And then they sacked him just this month.
Just a month later.
After getting, he won't beat another woman in his life.
He would not try, because I think this has taught him a great lesson.
Should have, but let's be sincere.
The journalists tried to reach out to him to get his own side of the story, but he was silent. If I were him, I'll come out and tender an apology. Something led me to it. I'm sorry, but let me share this with you. You see, there are factors that sponsors violence amongst young partners. Before you ever think about the devil, because we are very quick in Africa to say it is the devil, and I'm very sure on the last day the devil is going to be standing there debunking accusations. Someone will come up and the angel will ask, why did you do this? And the person will say it's the devil, and the devil would say to the angel, but you know, I was not in Nigeria at that time. I was in Sudan. or I was in another country. Are you with me this morning? Now, it's important we talk about this so we can all learn from it. My PAs were working with me yesterday night, and one of them said practically at 1 a.m., she was like, I'm so grateful because I have learned a lot from this, because we had to build it. Now, what are the factors that sponsors violence amongst young people? You need to be careful of these factors. You may not find them on the net, but I believe by now we would have them there based on this section. Had conversations this morning. Number one is anger. Now, anger is a strong feeling of annoyance. Medically, we're told that anger is like 5 minutes madness. The decisions you make when you are angry, you cannot account for them.
You can't even control it.
Anger is like a snap. And there are people who lack control when they are angry, and they could do the unthinkable.
They could destroy anything.
Anger has actually destroyed more people than build people, because the truth is this: anger destroys. It may be in you, recessive, but the time it will come out. Look at Moses from the holy books. He was the meekest of all, but the time anger came up, it messed him up. He struck the rock out of annoyance,
and instead of just touching it,
he struck it, and he missed the promised land. Away from that, number two, lack of self-control. You see, self-control.
Isn't that why people are getting pregnant earlier in their years? People are impregnating everybody all over the road.
You see, let me tell you something, Tommy saying. If you cannot control yourself, you will be moved by what people say. You need to turn your attention away from everything people say and control yourself. If you are, I heard Dr. Sam Adeyemi say some time ago, he said, if you are moved by what people say, then you must be a fool. People's words should not control your behavior, your movement, your reactions. Not everything should get to you. You need to get to a point where you develop thick skin to handle these things. That's why self-control is important. So the lack of self-control can lead to a scattered relationship. Number three,
a scattered life.
Really scattered life. Number three, lack of patience.
Wow.
Impatience. Now,
that's one virtue that they say young people don't even have in the first place.
Tolerance. Very difficult. You see, we want to go to where we are celebrated. We don't want to go to where we are tolerated. But over time, you need to understand this. I tweeted something this week. I said, when you have really worked very hard, a good sleep is more seductive than sex. Now, there's a time you get home and you're in that relationship. You're so tired. Your ability to tolerate the shortcomings of your partner is very important, because if you miss it at that point, you may regret for the rest of your life. I heard of a family that crashed because of plantain. The man said, I'm ready to eat plantain. The woman ignored him. One thing led to another, and there was tongue lashing from the woman, and the man shouted on her, spoke to her, and the next thing, the woman left the house, went to call the cops, got on the back of the man, and that was the end of the relationship. So you can see how
Plantain.
much impatience, plantain 400 naira. You can see how much impatience can do to destroy a relationship. Number 4, I call this nagging and verbal recklessness. Now, when I thought of that, what came to my mind is, before a man stretches his hand to hit a woman, there should be something from that woman. I call it verbal recklessness. No excuse is tenable for a man to hit his woman. But you see, the women need to understand that verbal recklessness can attract a very good slap. Did you get the balance?
So, as you say, don't beat your wife, you should also say don't abuse your husband.
Yeah, you need to create a balance. The women should be, women are blessed with verbal power. When the man is tired of talking, that's when the woman is just starting. She wants to kick off. And you see, men need to understand that some of these things the woman says out of anger, she may not really mean it. So if you're moved by everything she says, you're gonna kill her without knowing. And it's important. It's really very difficult. You see, it's easier said than done. But when I found myself in relationships, I found myself in such situations. You find yourself in a situation, especially, let me give you a practical example, in a situation whereby you're dating a person who doesn't speak your language, and then the person speaks her language to insult you, and at the end of the conversation you hear idiot. And at the end of another language speaking, you hear useless man. And at the end, it can be so painful.
Oh my.
And then the man is egocentric. He wants to descend on you. He wants to show you that your verbal recklessness can actually lead to accident. Just like when you have a reckless driver. Those who don't have a spare tire don't drive recklessly. So women need to pipe low, like what the billionaire prince would say.
You need your
to
voice
be coming down.
To be coming down.
They need to be coming down. Number 5, lack of mutual understanding. There are stages in relationships. There are 4 of them. I really don't have the time, but if you can follow us on YouTube, you can learn that Mega Precious TV. You can learn the stages of relationships when it comes to marriage. By the time you get in, there is what we call the developmental stage. When you pass that stage, now you have begun to know yourself. You see, that 1 year, 2 years of marriage, you're just getting to know one another. So you begin to find, it's not all the sexy. You now begin to find some vulnerabilities, some baggages, some things you never saw in the courtship. This lady was always coming out all made up. Now you're waking up next to her and you're seeing a masquerade you never saw during the time of courtship. You need to live with it. You need to understand the person. That's why I said lack of mutual understanding. Mutual means both of you need to understudy yourselves. In relationship,
so it's
you
not
don't
a
need to
one-sided
live.
thing.
Exactly.
You understand me because you work to understand me, and I also do my own part.
Number 6, bankruptcy of mutual respect. Like I said, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If you are demanding respect as a man, you need to also respect your woman. I see no reason why a man cannot walk up to a woman and say, I'm sorry for what I did. When I growing up in Nigeria, I used to feel it is very disorienting for a man to be found in the kitchen. But when I traveled abroad, I started seeing another kind of life, that men cook. Are you getting what I'm saying? Even wash, they do a whole lot of things. Okay, let me shock you. I have a friend who is director for Shell. Do you know this man makes breakfast every morning and his wife makes dinner? And they are lovebirds. And these people are over 50.
Are you kidding
He's my
me?
chairman. Now, the man makes breakfast every morning. Now, what does that say to you? It helps you understand mutual respect will actually go a long way.
As I am, I make the dinner, you make the breakfast.
And you see, they do it in love.
That's respectful.
Mutual respect. You need to understand that as much as you demand respect from the woman, the woman also require respect from you, and respect is reciprocal.
We need to take a part 2 of this topic.
I wish I could finish it, but it's really
how many more
interesting.
points do we have?
10 points, and I've just taken 6 already.
Okay, so we do a part 2.
We'll do a part 2.
We really need to do a part 2. We'll start earlier, but if we have a commercial, we won't do it earlier, you know. But you do know that we need to do earlier. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Precious, how do you close this morning?
I close by saying, in matters of anger and breakdown or disagreement, we need to take a chill pill.
No, we need to be calming down.
We need to calm down. We need to
you
calm
need to
down.
Be calming down.
Just pray for the spirit of patience. Pray for grace to handle it. It can be painful at times, reactions, because everybody is saying he beat the girl. Nobody's saying what the girl did. And there's need for a balance, but I'm not saying what he did was right, but we need to create a balance. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with us.
My name is Monsieur Joe. I'll see you again on Monday morning on the Bumper Breakfast Show. Keep watching MITV and don't miss it all through the weekend. We have so much in store for you.